Hello students, uh, welcome to the next lecture of geology, that is forms of igneous rock. So, in last class we have learned about what is igneous rock and what are the types of, what is magma, composition of magma. We have learned about magma as well. So, now we will see forms of igneous rock. So, let us start this lecture. So, today we are going to see these particular points, that is introduction of forms of igneous rock and the types of forms of igneous rock, that is extrusive igneous rocks and intrusive igneous rocks. Two are there. In that we are going to study law of flow and concordant discordant. We will discuss this in detail. So, before going to the main point, I want to explain you about what is igneous body. Igneous body means when lava or magma cools and consolidates, what happens? It becomes solid. Okay, it becomes solid. That solid material is what? Igneous rock. So, this rock will be in various forms. Various forms means shape and size. Various shape and size. So, on that basis, and they will form in a particular area as well. Okay, so in particular area as well. So, where it forms, in which shape it forms, what is the size of that particular igneous rock. So, on that basis there is a division. So, those divisions are called as igneous bodies. So, basically there are two types of igneous bodies based on its occurrence, where it occurs. So, first one is extrusive igneous body and second one is intrusive igneous body. Extrusive igneous body and intrusive igneous body. So, what is the difference between these two? The difference is when the igneous rocks or igneous bodies are formed on the surface of the earth, that is called as extrusive igneous body, and when the igneous bodies form within or inside the earth, that is called as intrusive igneous bodies. And the rocks which are formed by these two, maybe it is extrusive igneous rock, extrusive igneous body or intrusive igneous body. It is considered as, if it is formed by intrusive igneous body, it is called as intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, and if it is formed by intrusive igneous body, it is called as intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, and second, extrusive igneous rocks are also called as volcanic igneous bodies. Volcanic igneous bodies also called as volcanic rocks. And the intrusive igneous bodies are again divided into two: plutonic igneous bodies and hypabyssal igneous bodies. Plutonic igneous bodies and hypabyssal igneous bodies. So, what are these two terms? When the large intrusion formed at the moderate to great depth from the surface of the earth, if the rocks are solidifying and forming the igneous rocks, those rocks or those bodies are called as plutonic igneous bodies or plutonic igneous rocks. If they are formed near to the surface of the earth, near to the surface means small intrusions will be there and they are formed near to the surface, that is considered as hypabyssal igneous bodies or hypabyssal igneous rock. So, I will show you the diagram so that you can understand this. You can see this one. So, this is the you can say volcano from which the magma is coming out. When this magma comes out and solidifies, you can see this is lava is solidifying. This is called as extrusive igneous bodies. And we can see here the magma has cooled inside the ground. This is called as intrusive igneous bodies. If the cooling is occur at great depth, that is called as intrusive plutonic igneous bodies, and if they form near to the surface, maybe here or here or here, if they solidifies, that is considered as hypabyssal igneous bodies. Hypabyssal and plutonic igneous bodies are both are called as intrusive igneous bodies, and the volcanic igneous bodies are also called as extrusive igneous bodies or extrusive igneous rocks. Next, so we will see in detail now. So, extrusive igneous bodies, I told you, they are formed what, when magma poured out on the surface of the earth, and that will solidifies, that will solidify. So, magma is pouring out from this volcano, and here it is solidifying. This one is called as extrusive igneous body, also called as extrusive igneous rocks, extrusive igneous rocks. Okay. So, example is what, lava flow. Obviously, lava flow, when lava flows, you can see here from this volcano, it has lava has flown from here and it has solidified, and this solidified material is called as extrusive igneous body or extrusive igneous rock. The next one is intrusive igneous body. Intrusive igneous body, we have seen now extrusive igneous body, only one example is the lava flow. Now, intrusive igneous body, or also we can say intrusive igneous rocks, intrusive igneous rocks. Now, commonly observed of plutonic, that is intrusive rock observed in the field are dikes. I mean, I told you about intrusive igneous rock body means what, when the solidification of magma is beneath the earth. This is magma is here, it has intruded here also, and it has solidified, and this body is called as intrusive igneous body. If it is at great depth, it is called as plutonic, and if it is near to the surface of the earth, it is called as hypabyssal. So, what are the names of these particular common forms which are intrusive igneous bodies? Those are dikes, sills, laccolith, phacolith, lopolith, volcanic neck, and batholith. So, these all igneous bodies form beneath the surface of the earth, beneath the surface of the earth. They will not form on the surface of the earth. Okay. Now, based on the attitude of the associated country rock forms, forms are called either concordant or discordant. Concordant or discordant. I will tell you in detail. Don't worry about this one. So, suppose example I will give you. Let me erase. Suppose this is a rock, okay. This is a rock, and as you know, magma is liquid. So, liquid has intruded here, and as I told you, sedimentary rocks have layers like this. Layers will be there for sedimentary rocks. Okay. If this igneous body, I will change the color so that you will understand. If this igneous body intruding into this particular rock, already present rock, if it is cutting this, I mean, you can see here, it is cutting this layer. So, it is cutting this, going across this rock. It is called as country rock. Already present rock is called as country rock. So, this sedimentary rock is already present. In that particular present rock, the magma is intruding. So, this already present rock is called as country rock. So, in this country rock, if the magma is intruding and cutting across the bedding planes or across the rock. So, now you can see this is the bedding planes, these are the bedding planes, and to this bedding plane it is cutting across. It is called as discordant. If it is, suppose igneous intrusion has happened up to this one, and if it is going parallel to this bedding plane without cutting across, if it is going parallel to this bedding plane, it is called as concordant. concordant. So concordant means what? Once again you can see, sorry, discordant means what? Those which cut through the overlying strata or already present rock, country rock. Example, dike, batholith, stocks and bosses. Stocks and bosses. I will show you the diagrams of this all, don't worry. So, and then concordant igneous body, those which lie between the rock beds. So, it is, you can see, this is the bed and this is the bed, it is lying in between. Okay. So, it is not cutting across this one, it is going parallel to this bedding plane, that is called as concordant igneous bodies. And one more thing I want to add here, concordant igneous bodies are constructive. Concordant igneous bodies are constructive because it is constructive in nature, and discordant igneous bodies are destructive in nature, they destruct everything. This one is destructive in nature. Destructive nature. Destructive why? Because it is destructing by going across the bedding planes, it is destructing. But this one, concordant igneous bodies are constructing, they are adding some material without any disturbing to the rocks. Example you can see here for concordant igneous body, sill, actually this is not sill, laccolith, phacolith and lopolith. So, these are the examples of concordant igneous bodies. So, now, so we will see one by one. First we will see discordant igneous bodies. So, first one is batholith. So, this is the biggest igneous body of all and it is in plutonic in nature. It is in plutonic nature, means it forms at very great depth. It is irregular in shape of this igneous body is irregular and occupies large area. Here you can see the diagram. This one, here you can see this is the igneous intrusion, this one is igneous intrusion, all this is the igneous intrusion, and this is the country rock, already told you, already present rock, country rock, okay. It is country rock, already present rock, and this is the igneous body, okay. So, it is intruded, it has cut across these particular bodies. So, it is called as destructive and or discordant igneous body, okay. So, this batholith is a discordant igneous body, it is the largest of all, it does not have any base is not there, and is the irregular in shape, there does not have any shape to this one, and the sides of sloping away from each other. You can see here the sides of this igneous body slides away from each other. It is like this, igneous body is like this. This is the igneous body and the sides are sloping like this, and the country rock is like this. So, this is a batholith, okay, and it goes at greater depth. The base will be at great depth. We can't imagine as well that much great depth it will be, and occupies commonly associated with the mountain building processes. Most of the mountains are formed by batholiths. Because they are the largest of all. So, I will show the diagram. So, picture, and generally these are formed by granitic rocks or granodioritic rocks. So, if you someone asks you batholiths are formed by what? Granites or granodiorites. These two are rocks, igneous rocks. Picture you can see here. So, this is what batholith is. So, this is exposed on the ground, and this you can see this is sloping nature, slopes are there, and the slope might be on that side as well, okay. So, this is the biggest igneous body where you can see the body's sides are sloping away from each other. Then stocks. Stalks are, so you can see batholiths are the largest. Here you can see batholiths are at the down. Okay. So when this batholith or igneous body come on the surface of the earth and exposes, okay, and it is a few kilometers. This is hundreds of kilometers. It goes up to hundreds of kilometers, but this may go to a few kilometers, maybe 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers, like that. A few kilometers, maybe 1 kilometer as well. When it exposes on the ground, if you see the cross section, if you see from top, it looks like this one, irregular in shape. Okay. If it is irregular in shape, you can see here the smaller irregular bodies with 10 kilometer in maximum dimension. So diameter may be up to 10 kilometer from top. I am telling you, diameter may go up to 10 kilometer, and associated with batholiths. Obviously, it is associated with batholith. It is a product of batholith only. But only thing is, compared to batholith, these are very, very small igneous bodies. If it is, the boundaries are irregular, that is called as stalk. And if the bodies are circular in nature, if you see it from top, and if it is circular, it is called as boss. Only that difference is there. Otherwise, both stalks and bosses are same. If the body is irregular in shape, that is called as stalk, and if it is regular in shape, that is called as batholith. So we are seeing from top. If you see from top, it looks like this one. If you see from top, if it is irregular in shape, boundaries are irregular in shape, stalk. If it is regular shape or circular in nature or semicircular in nature, it is called as boss. Then dike. So dike you can see here. So dikes are discordant, obviously, because it is discordant igneous bodies. Okay. So cut across the bedding plane, bedding of the rocks, and they intrude. You can see the diagram is here. So these are the bedding planes. Okay. I will write here bedding plane. Beddings you can say, or beds. This line is called as bedding plane, okay, and this is called as bed. This one is called as bed. This hole is called as bed, and this line is called as bedding plane. Okay, so first bed, second bed, third bed, like that beds are there. So this dike, this igneous intrusion is crossing or cutting these bedding planes. That is called as dike. Okay. And it is vertical and steeply inclined and sheet like body. It is vertically inclined and sheet like body, and extensively in lateral dimension. Okay. Thickness vary widely from an inch, it may go by inch to hundreds of feet. The thickness of this particular thing, so this thickness may go up to inches to hundreds of feet, and injection through fractures, joints and weak planes. So what happens sometimes, suppose this is here there is a rock, already present rock, country rock. Okay. In this, if the cracks are there, fractures are there, broken rock is there. So in this rock, what happens, this igneous material or magma will intrude and will cut this, it will cut this like this. So it is going through the joints and fractures of this country rock, already present rock. So that is nothing but injection is happening into the cracks and joints. So quartz dolerite dike of Midland Valley of the Scotland are about 50 to 60 kilometer long. So if you search on Google dolerite and quartz dike of Midland Valley of Scotland, you will see the dike, a big dike which is of 50 to 60 kilometer long, up to 30 meter thick. Thickness is 30 meter. Just imagine. Few places are dikes are very short, up to few meters, and thin as few centimeter as well. Some dikes are there. You can see nearby places as well here, wherein we can see the thickness is very small and it the length is also very small, but the length can go up to hundreds of kilometers and also thickness may go up to hundreds of feet. Here you can see. So, real time example. You can see here. So, this is a dike, you can see black color, which is intruded in country rock, already present rock. This is country rock. This is a country rock, okay. This is a country rock, and this is a dike. This is the dike which is intruded. Okay. So, this you can see, the thickness you can see here, and length also you can see here. So, it is crossing across this bedding plane, because of that it is called as intrusive igneous body, and this type of intrusion is called as dike, and it is black in color, because of that it is mafic dike. If it is white color, it is called as acidic dike or felsic dike, you can say. Then those are the discordant igneous bodies, batholith, stock bosses and dike. Now concordant igneous bodies, okay, concordant intrusive igneous bodies. We are studying intrusive igneous bodies, correct. So in that, first one is sill. Sills are what? Sills are relatively thin tabular sheet like bodies, penetrate parallel to the bedding plane. Penetrate parallel to the bedding plane. So now you can see here. So this is the diagram you can see here. Here you can see beds. This is bed. This is bed, and the line which is between two beds, it is called as bedding plane. Bedding plane. Okay. So you can see here, this is one bed and this is one bed. In between, the igneous intrusion has occurred without disturbing or without cutting anything. So you can see here, this is cutting across this. This is called as dike. This last one is called as dike, but it is running, this one, this igneous body is running parallel to the bedding plane. Parallel to the bedding plane, it is called as sill, and this lateral extent may go up to, okay. So the length of this or extent, lateral extent may go up to hundreds of kilometers, okay, and the thickness may go up to 10 of kilometers, up to 10 kilometers you can say, and it may be few centimeters as well sometimes thickness. Lateral thickness mainly depends upon a hydrostatic force and temperature, degree of fluidity or viscosity you can say, weight of overlying sediments column. That means what? If suppose I will draw here, these are the bedding planes, okay, and if the viscosity of this magma is intruding here, okay, and the viscosity is less, so it can travel for longer distance. It can travel for longer distance along parallel to this bedding plane. If the viscosity is less, it can travel for shorter distance. Okay. If the temperature is high, what happens? It will intrude here and can digest or dissolve this rock and can travel for longer distance. If temperature is less, it cannot able to digest that, or you can dissolve that and can travel shorter distance. So the temperature, degree of fluidity or viscosity and all these factors are very important when it comes to extent of this body, igneous body. And as I told you, if the basic rock is there, obviously basic rock has high temperature, basic rock or basic magma has high temperature and high fluidity. Because of that, it can travel for longer distance compared to acidic. So you can see here, since basic magma are more fluid than acidic raw magma, the basic magma can flow for longer distance and acidic magma can flow shorter distance. Mostly sills are made up of gabbros, which is basic igneous rock. These are igneous rocks, gabbro, dolerite and basalt. These are the basic igneous rock wherein maximum silts are formed. Okay. And you can see it is spreading parallel to the bedding plane of the rock, hence it is concordant igneous body, concordant in nature. So, it is not cutting across, it is not disturbing the already present rock, it is going parallel to the already present rock, that is called as concordant igneous nature or concordant igneous bodies. Then laccolith. Laccolith obviously concordant igneous bodies with flat bottom and convex upward. It is dome shaped. You can see here, this is the igneous body. You can see here, this is the igneous body. Okay. So, this body, igneous body, has a flat bottom and it has a dome shaped in nature, okay, which is convection shape. Okay. So, most of times viscous magma is injected. When viscous magma is injected rapidly along the bedding plane, as it cannot spread or it pushes cannot spread, it pushes up the overlying layers and keeps keep on pilling up. So, example I will give you. Suppose this is the bedding plane or beds, you can say, these are the beds. If magma is intruded here, okay. So, what happens here, magma will accumulate here, but these layers, what happens, this will push up, this will push up, this magma igneous intrusion will push up and it will accumulate here. Due to that, what happens, it will be formation of dome like shape igneous intrusion body. This dome shaped igneous intrusion body is called as laccolith. Okay. And it may go up to hundreds of meters, it may go up to, the length of this may go up to hundreds of meters, and it will cause folding obviously because of this is straight and after intruding it is getting folded. So, folds will occur. Then phacolith and lopoliths. So, now you can see here, first we will see phacolith. What is phacolith? These are obviously concordant igneous body which is not disturbing the country rock, occurs along the crest of and trough of the folded sedimentary rocks. Example I will give. What is crest and what is trough I will tell you. Suppose this is the rocks of bedding planes, sedimentary bedding planes or sedimentary beds. Due to pressure from both the sides, what will happen? They will get folded. They will get folded, and this folding, here this folding is called, and this upward movement is called as crest. Okay, and this is called as, the bottom is called as trough. This is called a trough. So, what happens here, before folding, what happens, there will be accumulation of magma here or intrusion of magma here, okay, like a sill, they can see as a sill. So, when it gets pressurized from both the sides, this magma will travel towards, wait, I will show you. It will travel towards, this is the igneous intrusion body which is already intruded into this before folding, before pressurizing. After folding, what happens, some part will go at the crest, igneous body, and some part will go at the trough and crust. Okay. So, because of that, it will show you as a crescent shape, half moon shaped. So, this half moon shaped igneous body is called as phacolith. Half moon shaped igneous body is called as phacolith, but these are formed at the crest and top of the trough of the sedimentary strata, folded sedimentary strata. Okay. So, this this is called as sedimentary strata, I mean layering. The layering is called as sedimentary strata. Then lopolith. Lopolith, these are basin or saucer shaped concordant igneous body with top nearly flat and convex bottom. Here you can see very easily, this is the igneous body, you can see here, this is the igneous body which is like saucer, okay. So here what is happening, it is magma is intruding here and spreading all along the bedding planes, along parallel to the bedding planes, and it is forming some shape, that is saucer shape. This saucer shaped concordant igneous body is called as lopoliths. Concordant igneous body is called as lopoliths. Last one is volcanic neck or volcanic plug. It is cylindrical conduit that fed magma upward to a volcanic vent, or it is conduit of the ancient volcano, vary in diameter from few hundreds of meters to kilometers or more. These are filled up with crystalline rocks. Shape may be circular, elliptical and irregular. Example I will give you. You can see here volcanic intrusion is here, and this is a ground, and this is the atmosphere, obviously it is there. So, suppose how it has formed, I will tell you. Suppose this is the igneous body and already it has intruded here, okay. So, this is suppose already present here, and on this there is a already overlying rocks are there, sedimentary rocks are there. Due to some reason what happens, this country rock will vanish out due to weathering, you can say. Due to weathering what happens, this whole part will go up to, suppose up to this one, up to this it has gone. So, what will happen? So, when it vanishes out or weathers out, it looks like this one. This portion is exposed to the atmosphere. Here it was not exposed to the atmosphere. Here it is, surface was here, earth surface was here, now it is up surface is here. So, now this portion is exposed to the atmosphere. So, this portion is called as volcanic neck, or volcanic plug. Here you can see below this there is a intrusion only, but this portion is exposed because side material has vanished out or weathered out, okay. And most of times it is a part of dike. We can see here it is a part of dike, it is a continuation of dike, So, very simple, the exposed rock or exposed igneous body on the surface of the earth, which is the part of dike, okay, part of dike is nothing but volcanic neck, and it may go up to hundreds of meters to kilometers. So, I hope you understood today's lecture. So, today we have discussed about volcanic forms, igneous forms. In that we have discussed two types of igneous forms. First one is extrusive igneous form and second one is intrusive igneous forms. In extrusive igneous forms we have discussed about lava flow, and also example, those rocks are called as volcanic igneous rocks. And intrusive igneous rocks, there are two, that is concordant igneous bodies and discordant igneous bodies, and then you have discussed concordant igneous bodies and discordant igneous bodies separately. So, I hope you understood today's lecture. If you have any doubt, you can anytime contact me. You can give the comments below this video. I can answer. Thanks.